I'll go ahead and start recording because we have a lot of members who like can't make it at this time, so we like record them and post it online. But basically, our group is called Diversify Our Narrative, and we're basically trying to get more diverse literature in high school classrooms. So we want to get one book by an author of color in every high school literature class. We want to start like a teacher task force to make sure that like the diversity of literature is being evaluated and they're able to communicate what their needs are. We also want to implement one required unit throughout one of the 4 years in high school about Indigenous peoples' culture because it's such like a large part of New Mexico's history. And yeah, is there anything I forgot, Savannah?
Nope, that's good.
And so basically, what we're doing now is we're kind of still focusing on outreach and trying to get as many people involved as possible. And so we're going to be making a presentation at the Teachers Learner or like the TLF Summit for November. So we're going to kind of try and educate teachers on like resources that they already have access to make for if they're looking for more diverse literature, and kind of recruiting teachers at the same time. So if they want to join our cause, like we love to work with them and like have them help us set up the task force and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of trying to work from the ground up to get our goals made and just make it as easy as possible for teachers to be able to implement these changes and make a lasting change in the climate of APS.
This is amazing. How did you guys get started with this?
Well, over the summer, I found an Instagram page for the parent company of Diversify Our Narrative, well, not company, organization, and I thought this was something that would really kind of be up our alley, and so I got Melina on board, and then the two of us have just been kind of working on it all since this summer.
Very cool. When you guys present at the November Teacher Leader Facilitator Summit, what participant group are you looking for? Are you looking for all the way from like K to 12, just high school teachers? What are you thinking?
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, we would definitely present our resources to other teachers who aren't in high school, because we actually had a meeting on Friday where we learned that there's this huge like expanse of like diverse ebooks, like especially geared towards younger children. So we would love to get information about that to teachers who aren't in high school, but for specifically like teachers who we want to work with, we're focusing on the high schools right now since we're in high school.
Got it. So you would welcome everybody to share resources, and then maybe in your presentation specify high school teachers to be a part of your sort of team in building this group a little more. What does that look like for a teacher? So as a high school teacher, if I said, yes, I want to do this, what does that look like if I agree to participation in that?
Well, if those teachers would help us compile resources, find new resources, and there's not really a solid way to contact every English teacher in the entire district. And so those teachers would be really important because they'd help spread the word and recruit their departments. And they'd be the ones kind of on the ground making sure that people are starting to teach diverse literature, because as students, that's a little bit harder for us to do.
And we would also
cool.
any teachers who would want to be part of the task force we're trying to form, if they were like willing, obviously they don't have to put in that much of a commitment just to be part of our organization, but if that was something they were interested in, we would love to have them.
How many members do you guys have right now?
Like 20.
Hit or miss?
Yeah, they aren't all able to come to meetings, but across several schools, we have about 20, I'd say.
Okay. And how many, so are you guys working with this at, you're all El Dorado students, I'm assuming, or is that 20 students from other schools too?
From other schools as well.
Mm-hmm.
We
Amazing.
have pretty good representation at Manzano, Sandia, and Albuquerque High, I think, but I think those are our like other 3 strongest schools. But I'm not like completely sure, so I might be wrong on the exact ones.
Okay. So as Ms. Cunha told you, I am a teacher support specialist in the district. So part of my job, and the emails all come to me as a teacher support specialist about, hey, what sessions do we want? And being as this month's summit is tomorrow and Wednesday, that means the Monday after fall break, I will probably get an email that says, hey, what summits are we going to do, or what sessions are we going to plan for the November training, because we usually start that pretty early. So what do you guys want from me to help make sure, like, obviously you want me to help you make sure you have a session. We offer different sorts of sessions. So we have like training sessions where teachers log in and learn something new, kind of like a professional development session. We have some that are more discussion groups. How would you describe your session if you did it?
I would say more training than discussion.
Okay, that's good to know. And how long do you think, like what time frame are you guys looking at? Because we usually offer also sessions that are different, 45 minutes, hour and a half. What kind of time frame do you guys think you would need to get your information out there?
45 minutes should be good. We want to keep it like short and interesting, like to the point.
Hey, you're already thinking like we all do. That's perfect. Who is your contact? So who should I send, like who can send me an email with contact information so that when I pose this to the team, you've already got Ms. Cunier and myself. So we'll be CC'd on any emails and communications between yourself and the coordination committee. But I want you guys to be mostly, hey, here's this session, I'll get your foot in the door. And then I want one of you guys, or both of you, if that's who you want, to take over that kind of communication with your sessions and planning and that kind of stuff. So who should be the contact?
I think we can both.
Yeah, we have an organization email. I'll put that in the chat, and that reaches both.
You guys are going to challenge me to figure out how to find the chat on a. Got it. It's pretty easy. I'm doing all right here. Just the buttons all disappear, unlike on a computer where they're static. Okay, give me a second to just open that so at least I have it on record. All right. Perfect. Okay, so I've got that on record now. So I can send any links and information to that. So what just to kind of give you a little bit of information on the other end, when that email comes out, they're going to ask you for any resources ahead of time, that they'll give you an email who to send those to. And then they'll ask you to write a title and a description for your session. So you might just kind of something you guys can get started on ahead of time. Obviously something that pertains to, it gives a clear indication of who your participant is looking for, and something kind of catchy that will get teachers interested and get you the participants that you want. But I think it's amazing. I mean, this is certainly right up the alley. The TSSs and the BSSs in the district right now are really working hard to bring in more cultural diversity and equity across all curriculums. So I don't see any reason why they won't welcome you guys in to do this session and think it's going to be highly valuable to all of our teachers, because this is really amazing work. And the fact that it's student driven is even more impressive. Do you guys have any other questions for me about how that process looks, or need any information from that end?
One question I have is, what do these presentations kind of normally look like?
So great question.
You go for?
So because they're through APS, we have to use Google Meets. And what happens is the team that we have, the task force that we have in charge of creating, in charge of kind of running this and putting it all together, will create the Google Meet link for you. So that will be an option. So they'll create it, and then you guys just log in as if you're a participant, and you can share screen and do all of that kind of stuff. And then it's up to you guys from there. So other than it being a Google Meet, if you have information you would like your participants to read ahead of time, we do have some sessions that do that. So if you have a web page you'd like them to explore or get any background information or an article, they'll give you all that information and say, hey, send it by this date to this person, and then they'll take care of making sure all the participants get it ahead of time. But other than the fact that it's a Google Meet, it's kind of up to you guys how that looks and how that works. And then you have a tech team. So once we get you assigned, I can make sure I can be there. I don't know what Tanya's schedule will look like, but we can both be on there to support the, yeah, I know. We always have people sign up who answer questions in the chat about, I can't hear things, or why isn't this working, or those kinds of questions, so that you guys can continue your presentation, and us on the outside can work with those participants who need it. So I am certainly willing to be on that and to be there for you guys for that aspect of it. And then like Miss Cunha just said, we can schedule it. They'll give us a schedule and you'll pick a time slot. So you guys will have, there's before school sessions and after school sessions. So we'll just need to make sure you get in early so you get the session that works for all of your schedules as well.
Okay, that sounds really good. Thank you.
Yep. Anything else?
Do you have any tips for them as they plan? Like, what makes good professional development for teachers?
Great question. So teachers always want a takeaway. That's probably the number one lesson I would say, is they want something. If they're going to listen to you for an hour, they want something they can take back to their classroom and implement or read. So your resources list is probably a good one. That'll be kind of their even if their takeaway is just that, go explore some of these websites and things like that. That's a great one. And teachers like to talk. You probably all know that as students, right? Sometimes too much, I'm guessing you have seen in some of your classes. But if you can give them a chance to, like if you give them a resource list and then you can say, okay, maybe 5 minutes to go explore the resources and come back with a takeaway, or what did you notice, or things you like about the website, or how can you use it in your classroom? Those would be my two biggest things. Give them a chance to talk and give them something they can take away and implement in their classroom. Does that help?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I will, let me pull up the chat again. And I will give you my email address. Typing here. All right. Oh, it looks like that went to Savannah Phelps. So Savannah, you have it. I'm not sure why my settings were set that way, but let me type it to everyone too. That's kind of funny. Okay, now everyone should have it. And you guys are welcome to email me anytime. If you have any questions, if you like, how does this look? If you want to set up a Zoom and practice, whatever you guys need from me, don't hesitate to ask me.
Yeah, maybe
so much.
before they do their session, we could do like a run through with you and you could give them any feedback to make changes before they formally present. I think that would be really awesome.
Most definitely. And if you want a couple other teachers, I can probably round up some English teachers besides Ms. Cunha. If you want, 2 or 3, maybe, an audience, let me know how many you want, and I can probably round some up for you to practice with and give you some feedback.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yes. I can, Marissa would do it in a heartbeat. So, and we have a whole team of English TSSs that I'm sure any of them would be more than happy to help out. So you guys tell me what you need and I will do my best to help get it for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate all of your advice and your time.
Well, as teachers, we appreciate your time and efforts into doing such an amazing project. It's awesome. Keep up the good work, guys. Okay, question before I go. Do you have any boys? Is it just coincidence that all of you are girls right here?
Yeah.
We do have boys as well. Their schedules don't work with our meetings as well.
Got it. Just curious. Good job, guys.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. So we still have some stuff we'd like to go over for the general meeting. Really quick, while Savannah does a recap of our Friday's meeting, I'm gonna grab my laptop charger so I don't just like randomly like cut out in the meeting. I'll be right back.
All right. So on Friday, I think everyone here was at the meeting, but if you were unable to attend the meeting, last Friday we were able to have a meeting with the head of curriculum and the head librarian and the leader of the teacher union. And that was really, really helpful. One of the best things we've been able to do during this organization. So basically, we're able to ask them a lot of questions about what is already being done in APS about this. And basically, we learned that there's actually a lot more resources and willingness to support us than we had originally thought. The library department actually has lots of money to spend on us, and they recently purchased a bunch of ebooks, class sets of ebooks, and their Miss Altabelli, who's the head librarian, just wants recommendations for diverse books that we would like her to purchase. So we're going to be working on that over the next little bit, compiling kind of a master list of all of the works of literature that we would like teachers to be able to have access to. And that's like every type of author from every race and sexual orientation and class. We want a very diverse list. So if you have suggestions and you're watching this meeting, don't hesitate to send us an email or a text or any way that you feel like contacting us. We've already gotten a couple suggestions and we're super grateful for it. We want to know what you want to read. So definitely let us know that. Another thing we learned was kind of that we might need to recenter our ideas around supporting teachers rather than going to board meetings and enacting change from the top down, because it'll kind of create a lot more lasting change if we're able to give teachers the resources they need to be able to continue into the future and kind of change the climate of APS, like we talked about earlier. And also we got some resources from the APS website, resources for teaching diverse viewpoints. We could probably, if we find any more resources we could add to that, we'll link that website in the description of this video. And like we were talking about when earlier, we're going to be going to a teacher leader facilitator summit, which is a big group of like, I don't know, 400 teachers, I forgot how many, a lot of teachers that are, we're going to make a presentation about our organization and give them resources and yeah, like we talked about, kind of try to create the teacher task force that we stated in our goals is something that we want to have. So yeah, it was a really great meeting and we've got a lot of things to be working on now.
I don't know if Savannah mentioned this already, so please stop me if you did. But Savannah's going to kind of be focusing on like compiling the resource list and making it easier for teachers, and I'm going to be focusing more on like the presentation and like how we're going to do that. So of course people are welcome to help with both the presentation and the resource list, but if you're more interested in doing one or the other, like please let us know. And so not everyone has to come to the presentation with us, but if you are interested, please let me know and I will make sure that like we'll get you involved and that you can like help with the presentation and like get some experience public speaking. So yeah, just let us know and we'd love all the help that you guys want.
Yeah, we'll be creating a survey and sending it out on all of our platforms to ask when good meeting times are, because obviously a lot of people aren't able to make it to these Monday meetings. So if there's a better time to have our general meetings, and we'll also be asking about what you'd like to focus on, and if maybe we should have separate meetings to be working on the resources and then the presentation, or if we should all work together. We'll find a way to get your feedback on that.
Do you guys have any other questions or comments?
Are we going to be creating those teams in this meeting, or are we going to wait till another time to do that?
Well, you can let us know like right now,
Okay.
or like,
Cool.
or you can just like text one of us individually, like whatever you feel comfortable with.
Cool.
Well, if that's all we have to say for today. So thank you for coming, Miss Kine, and everyone else, and everyone watching. Make sure like to give us resource suggestions or let us know if you want to be part of the presentation. Yeah.
Savannah,
Thank
did
you,
you get
everyone.
the book list I sent you?
Yes, I did. Those are super
Okay.
helpful. Thank you.
And I actually got those from an AP Summer Institute, so they should be really like high school rigor appropriate and not like young adult stuff. Anyway, and then I have a student who works at Page One who put together a gender and sexuality section like that is supposed to be really representational of diverse genders and sexual orientations. And that student is going to type it up for me because they're like, I only have it handwritten. And I was like, oh, that's okay. And they were like, no, I want to type it. I'm like, okay. So I should have that this week and I'll share that with you because that's something that I have a huge deficit in. So I was really excited. Their college essay talked about it and I was like, oh, I need your wisdom.
That's
I'll get
awesome.
that to you. I know. But anyway, and then as you guys are planning, just let me know if you need help trying to like adapt it to teaching to adults. Adults are really, like they told you last week, are really bad students. And you always want to honor their knowledge. And so make sure that, you know, you kind of build ways in to get them to give you some of what they already know. Even if it's just like type in a book you like from a diverse author in the chat, like just something to recognize their knowledge. Because otherwise sometimes teachers feel like, oh, they're just telling me what to do and they don't even know what I already know. So that's my one tip for working with adult learners.
Okay, well, thank you, Ms. Kine. We'll remember all of that and try and incorporate it in our presentation. If that's all, have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.